Hi, so it's Labor Day 2019, and I'm getting ready to maybe do some traveling, move from this current location. It's really nice and quiet outside in Hillsboro. The streets are kind of empty. I came across a fairly pleasant experience for unaware TI, a woman coming by on her phone. I think she may have been hearing my remote neural monitoring, but wasn't necessarily using it against me. Made note that I stopped by the um, Buddhist temple and saw a statue of Lord Buddha, and even the monastery, or there's a particular name for the type of facility, some residential accompanying the very small Buddhist building. The statue in the courtyard actually had a Bodhi tree, which I thought was really neat. I went home and looked up the leaf structure on the internet, and sure enough, there it was. So that was nice for the synthetic telepathy functions or whatnot. It's Labor Day. She was pleasant enough. She was noting that I was saying hello to who was a man 2,400 years ago and is now worshipped as a deity, Lord Buddha. He's not a monitor. Wasn't on the headsets. Real important in this day and age. Never claimed to be a god, a son of God. He was a man with a will birth and used it to try and relieve suffering in total for his people after he jumped outside of his kingdom's walls. And I like to think those, if there is life after death, that'll be very debatable for those black Swiss cheese hole portals, exits out of the solar system, are in part the result of like 2,400 years worth of prayers. There was some bicyclists that came by, and I don't know if it was my RNM or them or whatnot. What's the problem is who keeps making my brain an illegal sender for their ill neurolinguistic programming, no matter where they're at. And so I'm in a structured situation with not a lot of access to funds to buy headgear to take it away from these people, but I'm not mad at the woman checking in with me, maybe at my RNM, saying hi to the Lord Buddha's temple on Labor Day, or, the people going by on the bike. Who I'm mad at is who's continues to make my brain an illegal receiver for exclusively neurolinguistic programming. Trauma-based mind control, Satanism. That's all it is. And then they virtue signal or extract from me this synthetic telepathy group. It's been going on for 15 years, but got real intense about 2016. So if you're a receiver of my consciousness and using against me, that's Satanism. Duh. Department under hell. If you're receiving my consciousness and not using it against me, should have come by for coffee and a real conversation rather than that. That's pretty weird. There's secretly no consequence for any of them doing that. The electric core synthetic telepathy groups that would be having my consciousness and then specifically using it against me for 15 years. There's been about 5,000 in the forces that have attacked me, from street theater operatives, home break-ins, neurolinguistic programmers. It's hard to sort out what part of that was a lot of elaborate AI and false voices that weren't backed up, or real people on headsets in other locations. But I'm very similar to Kevin Christian and a lot of the similar tortures. I've been getting a lot of shooting pain, like sensation of being poked with needles, and then infections recently. Someone may be sending in that signal or not over the baby monitor to get the NLP folks, or even over my voice, to stop talking. That's been every 15 to 20 seconds for 15 years. That sound is more pleasant than the neurolinguistic programming perpetrators' sounds that have been in my head, and they're real people in other locations for 15 years. That tinnitus sound is more pleasant than what these perpetrators have to say in neurolinguistic programming. So, happy Labor Day. I hope you have a great day, Hillsboro. It was nice walking out and about. It was it was synthetic telepathy involved. Like, it was definitely secret surveillance, but that was pleasant and fine. I sort of in this moment, I may have wished I would have stopped and talked to the woman in front of the Buddhist temple more, and said hello. What's my problem is being the receiver for all of the ill consciousness from the electric core, community-based agents, or whoever it is, the criminal surveillance group, the cartel. There's so many different ways to describe fake people problems. I've spent a fair amount of time collecting a lot of photos and whatnot for my Instagram on Tim D on BS MPA 5. Some photos of some ancestors also. And I'm gonna survive. I want to live the next like 20 or 30 years, but I don't want to do it listening to rogue neurolinguistic programmers from the comfort of their state-sponsored terrorism locations or wherever this is really coming from. Yeah, I'm wickedly tortured for no good reasons. 1.5 million Americans, TIs like me, about 5 million in the B system, headset capable or otherwise, and about 347 million Americans in total in 2019, and the synthetic telepathy international agenda unfolds, and I'm powerless to stop it. Just trying to preserve information on after death instructions and getting out of incarnation here is hard enough, and the deliberate sabotage of my consciousness every 15 to 20 seconds menticide is in direct ways contributing to the non-dissemination of the non-reincarnation information. I'm not able to talk to people as much as I want about escaping moments of death trickery and the solar system and incarnation, because whoever has my remote neural monitoring won't stop talking. That's more important to them and all these priorities of who's still broadcasting me than your non-reincarnation. It's some of the most evil in the world. These people in this room right now on monitor consciousnesses, the tip of their spear to keep you reincarnating. So I have a lot on my mind again, as usual, so Labor Day is not much of a holiday for me, but get a couple of bucks, get my stuff together, and move on to another location. I plan on trying to get a rental subsidy and living somewhere in Washington County in Oregon, and write out the rest of my days a lonely, tortured old man. Not necessarily so bitter, but yeah, virtue signaling is what this gang of human trafficker, torturing bastards have been worked upon me for like maybe 15 years. Like, my brain's been used for the electric core synthetic telepathy cults that are enslaving all of us. Yeah, they like in a misdirect that is deception and complicated, and maybe not that complicated, but I don't understand all of it, and they like try to kill me with information in the way that they beat my head up talking about it. But yeah, there's an untold number of receivers of my consciousness. And like, I had an experience where I walked into an emergency room here, and the electric core lackeys, young women, but they were in the form of like middle-aged women, but you could tell they were young people. I mean, just fucking stupid looks on their face. I don't know how long they had been in the cult, but they had been worshiping the NLP Satanists trying to kill me, and then that have been virtue extracting from me and then misleading these gutter punks that deserve a bullet in their fucking head. Treasonous. Ugh. It was a bizarre experience for me, but some of the misdirection was on display of all of these misled and misleading and treasonous bastards from the Electric Corps, that because they were never told the truth, they're actually worshiping the NLP Satanists trying to suicide me as this elaborate, like, virtue signaling got stolen from me, the source. I was so pissed off, I wanted them dead on sight. They're practicing Satanism right in front of me. Just right down at the hospital that my dad used to work at. I mean, that's a branch campus. That's not even on the hill. So disrespected. So I try not to get triggered. I was so mad at them. And that's like all of Electric Corps. Like their whole gang, enslaving us. So I'm a little different than Kevin Christian's situation, but not that much. And my good life and mimicry at speed of thought, you know, through even fake people networks around the country, is not going to make up for national, international synthetic telepathy enslavement well underway in good ways. Or well underway in no good ways. Pardon that misstatement. So I'm going to see if I can make it there 20 to 30 more years, and I may be hearing NLP every 15 to 20 seconds anyways. There will be no Eli Wiesel or Anne Frank moments or records of this or literature. I mean, the B system has that covered. But that's what this shit is. I'm the equivalent of a Jew in Nazi Germany. Very seriously. Very seriously. I'm gonna try to help you get out of incarnating after death. And these motherfuckers won't shut up. And somebody's paying them in no good ways. So.